Hello, YouTubers. Jimmy Card Collector back. Thank you for checking in with me today. I'm going to talk a little bit about the National I went to, a couple pickups I made, and then also I have a collecting idea for a project that I'm not going to do because I'm in deep on my own project, but someone else may want to take it up. So the National, I've been to the National before. This National struck me as bigger than the previous one I'd been to maybe 6-7 years ago. I had a great time. It was crowded, I felt. I went on Friday. I got a couple cards. I didn't spend my whole budget. I ran into dealers that just didn't seem flexible on their prices. I wasn't going to overpay, so we just didn't come to any deals. And so I came home with a decent part of my budget, and I'll get to use that on some cards at the next show. So first up, I purchased a exhibit card from the 30s and 40s, Joe DiMaggio. I got this for $200. How do you get a Joe DiMaggio card for $200? I don't understand why these cards aren't more popular. They're premium cards. They're not the traditional card. I get it. But, it's a real photo of Joe DiMaggio. You look at like a 33 Gaudi. It might be a little sketch of a player, and if you took the name off the card, you wouldn't know who it was. But you could look at this picture, and you'd say that's Joe DiMaggio. So I love these cards. I think they're a great value. And I didn't have a Joe DiMaggio card, and now I do. My second purchase was this 1911 T205 Zach Wheat. I've been moving into the pre-war a little bit. Most of my collection is from the 50s through the 80s. And so I wanted to get into pre-war. I thought this was a sweet looking card. Zach Wheat is an all-time leader for the Dodger franchise in hits, in total bases, doubles, triples, and even RBIs. He's a Hall of Famer and a serious baseball player, and I wanted his card, and I wanted this card. And I picked this up for $400. So that was my National. I don't know if I'm going to next year's National. It's in Chicago. I live in Colorado. I don't get to any good vintage shows. I mean, the Denver show out here just doesn't have much vintage in it. I'm lucky if one dealer is there that has some vintage. So I do most of my buys on eBay. So I don't know if I'm going to go to Chicago. It's quite a trip, and I'll just have to see. But for the moment, I'm buying on eBay. Now, I wanted to present to the YouTube community a collecting project. If someone's looking for something a little different to do, I'm sure people have done this project, but I've never heard anyone talk about it. So the project that I would think would be a pretty fun project to do is collecting the cards of all the MVPs from the World Series. So I'm talking about World Series MVPs. The first World Series MVP was awarded in 1955. That was to Johnny Padres of the Dodgers when they won their a 7-game series against the Yankees and became world champions. Padres was the MVP, and that's the first card you would collect in this project. The nice thing about this project is there are plenty of Hall of Famers that have also been World Series MVP recipients, including, Frank Robinson and Sandy Koufax. And so I don't think you're going to have a lack of HOF players, but you're also going to collect some very good players that clearly had an impact. I mean, winning the World Series is what the whole season is all about. And if you're the MVP of that, you've had a significant impact on baseball. So there's some very good players that aren't in the Hall of Fame that you would be collecting. For instance, you would be collecting from 1959. You'd be collecting it was Larry Sherry of the Dodgers was the relief pitcher, was the MVP. You'd collect in '68 when the Tigers won the World Series, coming back down 3-1 against Bob Gibson and the Cardinals. Mickey Lolich had 3 wins, was the series MVP, a very good left-hander. And then you'd have also like Frank Viola in 1987 was the MVP. So I think you'd be collecting not just Hall of Famers, but some cards of some really good players. And I think it would be a project that would help you learn about a lot of baseball history. So that concludes my video for today. It's my 3rd video. I don't think anyone's confusing me with a YouTube influencer, but I thought I would share with you where I am in the hobby and my project idea. I hope someone picks it up and runs with it. Take care.